These men who love too little, video 4B. I'm sorry, but I had a little technical problem when reading, so I divided into video 4A and B. So I carry on where it stopped. In the West, we also suffer from all sorts of mafias fighting against each other. The political elite in power is also connected to gangsters and the mafias, as it is well known, where money laundering coming from drug, prostitution, etc. at times finance their electoral campaigns. With the invasion of the West and mainly the UK by foreign mafias such as the Russian, etc., more darkness occupies the top of our Western society, which makes it even more and more difficult to anyone who refuses to sell their soul to the devil to succeed. But not everyone rich or in power belongs to these dark rings. Source divine universal love, I am sure, place higher angels everywhere in our society. Amongst these elitist rings, some beautiful souls were born as well to help bring universal love at higher and even the highest level. But for sure, life is not easy for them, and they must be very clever to escape getting killed by the monsters around them. Some, unfortunately, get caught and are getting killed by their own parents at times. On the Christian front, the biggest clash occurs between Protestants and Catholics. They keep fighting against each other, throwing the blame at each other and condemning each other to hell, which is covering Christianity with ridicule, as they both profess to be saved by the same Christ. Christ whose message is about universal love. Anyhow, let's not put everyone in the same bag there too. There are wonderful, genuine Christians everywhere and in each group, but very often at the head one can find evil spies planted there to infiltrate the church and to destroy the ethos as well as persecute the church members. One can see a pattern in many churches of just a few cliquey people surrounding the head of the church who remain between themselves and look down on everybody else. This need of remaining to themselves in secret is actually by itself quite eloquent that they have something to hide, and since they are leading the church, they can then make as unchristian decisions as they wish. There is no wonder then that so many in churches are so unkind, judgmental, and despising of others. Concerning the power of men, it is the same and as bad both in Catholic as in Protestant group. Let's not forget that the Catholics were the first Christian state religion established by Constantine, a male tyrant, and that the Protestants only existed because of another male tyrant who killed all his wives and wanted to get rid of the divine obligation to remain married and not to divorce his first wife, called Henry VIII. Although Catholics are not as dry and give to Divine Mother through the person of the Virgin Mary the importance she deserves and approve of the communion of saints, which make it a more human religion and a a lot less dry because it opens up to the feminine in a smaller window, which is still allowing the feminine to have its say. In fact, the feminine is still repressed by leaders of the Catholic Church since they refuse for women to become priests and leaders so that females are kept underfoot to submit to males. With Protestants, the dryness is so arid that one feels in a desert all along. Only one man is revered in such churches, the male pastor, who has every right on the congregation. Women are totally ignored and even persecuted as evil, so they are required to shut it and submit. Fortunately, some Protestant churches have bravely allowed women to be pastors and encourage women to be treated as equals. But for some, this arrived very late. In fact, too late, one can say. Others are now displaying some opportunistic, feeble, false acceptation of women, even bossing around front stage some female collaborators to pretend they have never been wronged as women and it is all fine with macho Christian males. People were so tired, and many women, usually the main audience in churches, lost heart because of continual humiliations and ill treatment and left the church, which is explaining that between Catholics and Protestants, their church buildings are now sold to any good investor and sadly turned in other secular buildings just for profit. Certainly those at the head who infiltrated churches, whatever their denominations, were sent from dark sects, haters of Christianity, and they succeeded their dark mission to destroy churches from inside as well. The worm in the apple was very much alive, and it was misogynous from the beginning. Women were the most faithful and devoted members, but this worm hater of women made sure to even discourage them to attend. The big lie, the real worm in the apple, is that women are evil and males are granted the position to be in charge by the only male god as a consequence of the so evil nature of women. But why? Because of jealousy. Male egos need to dominate, and this type of domination is very unhealthy for everyone involved and themselves included. Anything from the ego or lower self is unhealthy. The contradictory thing is that they claim they are born leaders because precisely their ego needs to dominate. But this is precisely why it is dangerous and unhealthy to allow them to be in charge, since ego domination needs to be controlled to help us grow spiritually to a wise and mature person. A good leader needs to serve others, not to tyrannize them or control them. Tyrannical male ego hence needs to learn to outgrow this natural ill disposition by actually learning to be second each time his ego boasts he must be first. What actually causes jealousy about the female is her heart energy, wisdom from feminine intuition, and caring nature, which make her the most appropriate leader. A mother serves all her family, and she is more aware of their needs. Hence, she is the one who should have the last word on many things. But the false doctrines in the Christian Church submit her to the diktat of a tyrannical male, out of touch with reality, except for his egotic need to be worshipped and to be seen as a master. In other words, males tend to want to take the place of God, and many ask such worship to their wives. This is extremely unhealthy, because real source divine is not a lunatic with a mean tyrannical ego. The real nature of source divine is humility, meekness, benevolence, as Christ has shown us. So this is totally distorted, and reigning by force, as many males do, to boost their low self-esteem, or to feed their monstrous ego to prove they are the chosen ones to be the masters of the world, only illustrates how unfit they are to be granted any sort of power. Because what they see as qualifying them to be crowned masters, gods, etc., is actually disqualifying them in truth, as they are displaying the opposite attributes of the nature of God. In spite of these two good reasons why it is totally unhealthy, unethical for males to proclaim they are the only ones to be in charge, they have claimed this for centuries. Even nowadays in the West, whilst women have been progressively winning an equal place in our society, I'm very sad to state that many younger males are standing this horrid ground by going to the lengths of fiercely murdering their partner. Some intelligent young men are actually very balanced, healthy, fundamentally good. They respect women. Also, they enjoy the new equality deal, and they are eager to get in touch with their own feminine side, eager to start learning from each other instead of trying to dominate each other. However, a minority of young men have decided to carry through the old male school, bashing the motto, they are going to teach women they are the masters of the planet. They find it immensely difficult to adjust with the new blooming and blossoming of females striving to reach out to total equality, and they feel angry at the real men who help women to get to this place of dignified equality, so to work hand in hand with them in loving harmony, unable to control their lower self and attached to the privileges of the immature, old-fashioned, spoiled brass male tyrant. They show great solidarity to their macho cause by making sure to go the extra mile in horror, to the point of abusing even more severely or murdering any female on their way who is not going to take their abuse by submitting and shutting up. Many females have the maturity and wisdom to leave the relationship and move on when they realize it is not fitting. However, once again, these women are not allowed a free choice because such ex-boyfriend keep stalking them way after the breakdown of the relationship, preventing them to get on with their new lives by threatening them and keeping abusing them. The majority of the time they end up murdering their ex-girlfriend or partner, which is the proof of the point I'm trying to make here. Not only such backward attitude is negative and a total waste of space and time, but mainly it destroys life, including the life of these male stalkers. They will get caught and rot in jail or in a lower type of life their bad karma will attract on themselves. What is really horrid is that it drags all of us in a lose-lose situation as they insist to drag down another human life at the same sordid low level instead of humbly admitting what they need to change in themselves and grow at a higher, beautiful level for their own good, ricocheting to all true highest good. This is totally putrid and is causing much loss of good human potential ready to invest good vibes to our world. Too many younger and older women contributing a lot of good to our society and with a bright future ahead end up murdered by male psychopaths because not many seem concerned to find the root of the problem and deal with it. Police and justice system is far too lenient with such males who know they will get away very easily after murdering their female partner. Why? Because after centuries of abuse from males to females, there is an implicit consensus and solidarity that males are in charge, so they are the only masters and no woman should challenge their male tyranny. The elite is giving such an example which allows other males to simply follow their example. They know they will get away with murder, as so many celebrities do, or that their legal sanction will be reduced even if proven guilty. There is always the classical male rationalization of their crime, excusing it, and the jilting of the blame on their female victim. It is sadly very common with older generation of males who won't go silently, but the worst is to see that some young males are determined to keep this terrible legacy alive. We can rejoice, of course, that they are just a minority and that a majority of younger males are at the opposite, truly happy to live a better life through equal respect with females. As well, many good older and younger males help females to advance and grow at an equal place. Female leadership is by nature not tyrannical, as it happens naturally through caring and serving. Through my humanitarian work with charities, where, by the way, a majority of volunteers are females, it is very clear that only those in touch with the reality of everyday life and sympathetic to others' needs are the ones who need to lead as they best know how to provide for them. There is no dispute in such circles, as females are often a majority, since it is about helping good causes, and what is required is efficiency with very little financial means. The criteria becomes then the one who is willing and available to give the most time, the most energy, the most wisdom, is the best qualified to lead and organize the charity. However, in the business world, where I worked too during my day jobs, it is quite the opposite. All is about competition, greed, ego, arrogance. And their males are in charge. In certain business centers in the city, these males in charge are choosing the sexiest younger secretary as a PA, spend their Friday afternoon in striptease clubs with other males of the company, over drinking, smoking, etc., to what they see as male bonding. Women are the majority of the time secluded to serving and submissive positions. We can see that two opposite realities exist in the same world. One is the caring reality of females who spend their lives to repair what the selfish reality of competitive males have created: hurt, poverty, broken adults, etc., ending up homeless, drug addicts, suicidal, depressed, etc., because they can't compete? Or is it because they are more sensitive and their conscience would not allow them to walk over dead bodies just to succeed, as the other males can? Males who are more sensitive and caring usually get a hard time, as women do, as I have already explained, and many end up in difficult situations. They know that we are all one and all connected, whilst males who love too little blame women because they are too attached, which is their view of what is loving too much. They need all the space to themselves, as their ego doesn't wish to share the cake, but keep it all for themselves. So they mock these fine males for being weak, and the worst insult is to tell them they are too feminine in their vision of life. It is very sad to state that very fine males, intelligent and refined, are mocked and abused as women are. They too think out of the box and refuse the status quo. They acknowledge that sacred geometry, quantum physics, etc. demonstrate that we need true pure balance for anything to get accomplished. And once this inner balance is acquired, then there is an infinite possibility of parallel universes, etc. So they refuse to limit the natural flow and beauty of life just to satisfy an arrogant ego. They consecrate their lives to better themselves, not to beast themselves. They refuse to fight, drink, participate to orgies, or to mistreat women. They see women as equal partners, not punching balls they wish to protect and cherish, as they understand that difference in essence does not spare anyone from practicing mutual respect. Mean males who love too little, at the contrary, make a point to punish females because they require equal respect, by withholding all males' good natural attributes and functions from them, needed to balance females. They remove their side of the bargain to leave women struggling on their own with all the pressure, all the responsibility, and they focus their attention to try to belittle, criticize, kill in the womb any little progress females make to try to blossom as equal human beings instead of encouraging it. Females are very grateful to the many fine males who are actually even more practicing chivalry than ever and use all their male power to take care and help to blossom their female romantic partners, encouraging them and protecting them through self-sacrifice and hard work. These wonderful men look for the highest good for all, and they tend to keep to themselves, as they prefer to study or work at their talents to accomplish something beautiful inside, to share with humanity. They're not wasting time with ego drama or trying to prove their malehood. They learn to love their higher self and are content with universal loving. A young man expert in martial arts told me once, when a hooligan comes his way at night, he rather run away, as he knows that if he dealt with him, he would kill him, and it is not in his philosophy to harm another human being. However, these fine young men are seen as cowards because they refuse to soil their soul into repulsive, pointless fights of drunkards over spilt glass. These fine men are ethical leaders by nature, but they are very often put aside by tyrannical males in power or eliminated. Tyrannical senior males are actually feeling very threatened by fine young males coming in competition in their preying upon younger females. Some also wish to corrupt them by raping them and forcing them to hate females through joining the club of what they see as superior males who should enjoy romance together as real equals rather than with inferior females. Many of these young, fine males manage to overcome such traps, but like Joseph in the Bible, they suffer from their other beastly male brothers who tried more than once, if not to kill them, to undermine them and destroy their inner confidence as males. This is why the feminine divine is so needed by males as well. The feminine helps nurture these males as they need encouragement too. Such good males, once grown up, are actually enjoying the benefits of receiving gracious loving care and knowing real intimacy and true romantic love with females, because they persevered within the real truth in spite of persecution. They enjoy the natural, liberating, harmonic balance between feminine and masculine through being gentle with each other instead of forceful and domineering. The fruit of such balanced union is true universal love, which holds everything together, the natural elements of our planet included. They carry life in themselves and around themselves as they share the fruits of their loving union with all.